Well, I'm supposed to give you exactly what you want. What do you want? Hairstyles for curly hair, scalp hair growth, home remedies, hair keratin smoothing treatments at home, new hairstyles for black hair, home remedies, and all of the things. But I'm not doing that. It's what YouTube wants me to give you. But actually, we're going to dive deep into the science of the scalp.
Common cause for hair loss associated with hair styling is called traction alopecia. Traction alopecia is caused by constant tension on the hair follicles from tight hairstyles, such as ponytails or braids. This can lead to permanent and irreversible hair loss.
Now, most people would say, leave me alone. I've been doing braids and I've been using oils. Well, guess what? Most people do until they start going to see a dermatologist, because hair weathering takes 6 months to 25 years.
A common type of hair loss that I encounter is what's referred to as traction alopecia, and it's from hair pulling. Essentially, it can show up years after the use of tight braids, cornrows, or ponytails, and years later there can be hair loss, particularly around the front.
This needed to be done. I wasn't confident. I kept doing the same things with my hair because I couldn't do anything else with my hair. I would wear headbands, hats. Just try to cover it so that no one can see that, because I was really embarrassed by it.
This unfortunately doesn't respond as well to medical therapy, but fortunately responds wonderfully to hair transplant.
A common cause of hair loss, traction alopecia. Well, it's a type of hair loss due to chronic traction or stress on the hair follicles that first leads to a lot of hair breakage, and then later on down the road, if the traction forces persist, leads to weakening of the hair follicle and ultimately hair loss. Hair loss from traction alopecia is going to be most obvious around your hairline, especially in the frontal hairline, around your temples, and right in front of your ears. This is because those hairs are a lot finer. They're, baby hairs, and they're more fragile and susceptible to breakage and becoming weak from those pulling forces. Traction hair loss can and does happen in all people, but it's more common in women because women style their hair in such a way that puts a lot of traction on their hair. And it's very common in African American women. It's estimated that a third of African American women suffer from traction hair loss. Tight braids, weaves, or another issue that kind of goes alongside that in terms of your hair care habits might be if you are putting heat directly on your hair right along your hairline, that will weaken the hair, make it more susceptible to breakage, and then you have those pulling forces on the hair shaft that further contribute to hair loss in those areas. Culprit hairstyles include tight braids, ponytails, really tight slick back buns. If you're a ballet dancer, it's kind of a risk factor for traction hair loss. Weaves, they put a lot of stress on the hair shaft and can lead to traction alopecia. Tight sponge rollers also can put a lot of stress on the hair. And if your little baby hairs are already weakened from heat styling and chemical treatments, then even hair bands like the one I wear can also put a lot of traction there and cause further breakage.
Here you can see where we have a little bit of traction alopecia from these beautiful locks over time that have just pulled up a little bit. And so we're adding hair in between where the locks are. And it's probably something we'll have to do in stages, but this is going to be the first stage where we go in between where the locks, and then at some future point when we cut the locks down, we'll be able to do a second stage and add even more hair and bring this hair back to where it was originally.
So let's get straight to this in an honest way. You said, I've come across your content a few years ago when I wanted to attempt a silk press, but came across some content about 4 days ago and I'm shook. The first video I saw was about how curly cuts damage hair. I had no issues with that since I've never done that, but I was drawn to the science and kept watching other videos. I know you say it's simple to care for your hair, and after about 30 videos, you're right, but it's complicated because we've been fed so much info, nonsense for so long, and I'm shook that you've debunked everything I understood and was declaring with my full full chest. I have coily hair with some box color in it. The back of my hair is the healthiest and fullest, while I have the shortest stringy hair in my crown. The back is armpit length. I now know that my problem, I thought I wasn't consistent enough with oils and butters. I used them for twist outs, but didn't moisturize daily. The YouTube natural influencers can't make up their minds about whether or not to trim, and after telling us to stay away from the mineral oil and petroleum, they're saying let's get back to basics with the blue magic. Like what? What did it for me after listening to you is how many of the long hair naturals would disappear, then reappear with some story about hormonal imbalances or stress or pregnancy causing them to experience hair loss. Then we watched the big chop and starting over journey, and it hit me that they were experiencing weathering from the wash and goes and heavy butters. I'm stuck to your videos like an addict to try to learn everything so I can restart my journey. Her next comment says, I was convinced that unrelaxed hair was invincible and could withstand color because it wasn't relaxed. I didn't use heat. I air dried my hair so it was supposed to be healthy. I'll just twist it for the week, and I do twist outs for a few days. Retwist, wash it if I was going somewhere, and washed it every 3 weeks. Sometimes longer because I bought into the hype. It's a long one, so you can read the rest of it yourself, but I'm jumping to the end where she says, now I know what's wrong with my unrelaxed hair. I didn't wash often enough. I did co-washing. I did twist styles. I air dried my hair and used unnecessary heavy oils, rarely trimmed, rarely straightened, and almost never combed my colored hair. I colored my own hair using box color. The natural way is destroying my hair, and I'm thinking I'm not consistent enough, moisturizing enough. I can never get the comb through my hair. I know why. Listen, when we are talking about hair care and hair products and natural hair and things of that nature, you guys have traded in the pride of a vanity metrics for the science of the human body. Because how can you say that you truly love your hair when the only way that you love yourself or accept yourself as a woman is if you wear your hair in its natural state? And the only way that another black woman loves herself in any type of way is if whether or not she wears her hair in its natural state. And we are teaching these things to our daughters. Your daughters think the same thing. She ended her comment saying that my daughters have long, beautiful, thick hair though. I'm going to make changes before I destroy their hair. Sorry for the long comment. I'm just shocked at how clueless I was, and thanks to you I see the light. Now I need to see if I naturally have high porosity hair or if it's from me over processing and giving myself those results. Most of the time, the way that you guys are, the way that everybody operates, it puts you in this place of not only do you not follow the science of hair, but you're on the defensive. Like this woman said, in all honesty, these are things that she used to profess with her whole chest. But most of you are like that. Most people that disagree with me are going to be in the comments like, rah, rah, rah. But then when you sit down and you're met with science, when you sit down and you actually read through these things, most people, you hear absolutely nothing. There are crickets because none of you actually know what you're talking about. Like this person, it says maybe the lye seeps into your scalp and erodes the brain tissue. Listen, y'all are so crazy. Like I said, if you don't base the scalp properly, please stop repeating things without proper context. So then she says, lye, wigs, weaves, and all synthetic strands cause brain and scalp cysts. Do your research. Mind you, it's crazy for you to say do your research to me because by profession, I am a research scientist. So to say do your research is crazy, right? And you can read the comment for yourself, but I basically told her that I am a research scientist. And all of you black women who are constantly quoting that study was like 398 pages, right? I read all 398 pages, and I can guarantee you did not read all 398 pages, because if you did, you wouldn't be quoting it, right? Because that was one controlled group, but there were over 10 controlled groups, right? That was a group of women from a certain environment. They used certain products. They went to certain restaurants that had certain types of diets, right? This was one control group. But the other control groups that were in different environments, that went to different cosmetologists who had different properties, they got a different result. See, and then once I said that, she's like, "Oh, well, not that wasn't to you then. Never mind. Not to you. Not to you. That wasn't to you. I'm talking to any sensible sisters. Don't use a lie and stay away from rat strands. Our curly hair loves water, air, and sun. Listen."
When you use my hair product and you have really dry hair, you can put the product on. You can put the product on without wetting your hair, but I wet my hair before I put it on. So let me see. I need to. Did I already? Wait. Let me section that, because I'll be showing you how I put it on and everything. Okay. So my hair is really dry. I just washed it last night. And what I like to do is I like to stretch my hair. So I'll show you. Okay. So I'm gonna spray some water on it. That should be enough to wet it. Do this little number here. Move my glasses out the way. And then I'm going to take my product. It is creamy. It's a little hard, but it's creamy. So you can take it, rub it in your hands like that. See how it clears? It's clear. It's clear. It's not brown, it's clear. And then take that, put it on the hair. Oh my gosh, and it just melts the tangles. Oh my god. Do y'all see how dry that was? And now look. Oh my goodness. And then I'm gonna take some, put it on the edges. And it's gonna disappear. So it's not going to be brown, it's going to disappear. Okay. See how that disappeared into the hair? And open the hair up. Put some on the inside. Just a little bit, don't need a lot. I should have showed you what it was like to comb through it before I put it on. I'll do that. And just take it. You see how I comb? Just, baby. It makes hair, look at that, easier to manage. Oh my god. Because if you have never had natural hair, especially dry natural hair, annoying. So, and that just comes right through. Comes right through it. Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay, makes hair easier to manage. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to braid that up. Okay. I like to stretch my hair out after I wash it, just to make it even more easier to manage. Okay, so let me show you what it's like. Hold up. Let me show you what it's like to try to comb through this without any product. Do you see that? Okay. Alright, so this is without product. And look, this is, I got all the combs. All of them. All of them. Oh. I need to put some lip gloss on, girl. Alright. Why are you so obsessed with me? Boy, I wanna know. Your wife is in the room, wonder why. Okay. So, I'm trying to figure out, okay. So here, look at this. I cannot comb through it. Ain't no look at it. Okay. Look at that, girl. Nothing. Okay, not happening. So, let's spray some water. Okay, there we go. We got that water. Whew, that was a workout. Jeez. Take not that much. Yeah, whatever. And then we'll rub it in the hand. And cream, clear. And then put it on the hair. Put it on the hair, put it on the hair, put it on the hair. Look at that. Oh, look at that. See, my natural hair stops right here. I've been straightening my hair, so it looks straight, but you see that? Instantly gave it some life. Take a little more. I'm gonna put it on the inside. Okay. Run it through. Put it on the edges a little bit. If you have natural curly hair and you use my product, baby, those curls will come alive, and it's not too greasy. It's like a perfect amount of moisture, a perfect amount of hydration. It's just, do you see that? Do you see how much life my hair has now? It's come through. Oh my gosh, like that is so much more life. That is crazy. And now what we gonna do? Look at that. Baby, let me tell you something. And your hair is not going to dry out. It's going to be like this until your next wash day. Your hair is going to be moisturized like this. And look how it curls up. Look how it gets curly. It's going to be like this until your next wash day. I'm not lying. I'm not kidding with you. Like, look at that. When I tell you, baby. And then braid it up. Look at them curl. See, I've been straightening my hair, but it's still kind of curl up a little bit. Look at that moisture. Look at that shine. Baby. If you want your hair to be easier to manage and not so dry, and you want a natural product, not all them chemicals that really don't keep your hair moisturized, but for like 2 seconds, you need my hair product. Natural, all natural, and it makes your hair look like luxury. It makes your hair feel like luxury. If you're tired of doing them kids' hair and struggling, you need my hair product.
This video is a very, very clear representation of what I was saying. Black women are the easiest group to manipulate. If somebody loses their job, if somebody's in a crunch for money, all they have to do is create a product for Black women and say that it helps you with dry hair. It helps you to not be able to, if you are a person who can't comb through your hair, which is most Black women. Most Black women don't comb their hair for weeks, months at a time. So if you make a product that says, oh my God, this is gonna be easier to comb your hair, everybody's gonna run to it. Everybody's going to run to it. And nobody is going to check to see if the person who's actually selling them the product has any type of medical backing, has any type of education as it pertains to the hair. The woman that you guys just watched, she said herself she was going to go to cosmetology school, but it was too much work and she didn't feel like doing all of that, so she did something else. Now she does gig work and YouTube, right? And was having a hard time paying her bills, so decided to bring a product that went left. She brought that back, and you guys are using it. And the thing that she said, the thing that one of my new subscribers, Hey Girl, said in her moment of accountability, she was like, hey, I used to do all of those things. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought that my hair was the healthiest because I'm not combing it, because I'm not brushing it, because I'm not doing all of these things. But the reality of it is none of those things were true. And all of the different styles that y'all do, all of y'all braids, all of y'all twist outs, all of the wash and goes, all of the things, those are the women that are in these videos that are going to see their dermatologist. They're going to the dermatologist behind the scenes. They're no longer making hair videos and doing other types because they're experiencing hair shaft disorders, and their dermatologist or trichologist is telling them that their triggers are the things that they've been doing on YouTube, so they have to stop. They're not going to come back out and say, hey, all the things I've been telling you to do, they were wrong. In yesterday's video, I had a couple of my different subscribers that are from Africa that were like, hey, Sin, like, we are dealing with the same exact things when we do the things that you're telling us not to do. But if we're really being real, anytime we look throughout history at black women were not doing all of these styles that had a bunch of tension, and they had long and beautiful hair if that's what they desire. But the pixie was a thing as well, and heat damage was not a thing. Okay, when I was getting my hair done when I was little, they used my Marcel irons, which gets 10 times hotter than the irons that you plug in. It's uncontrolled heat. You have no idea what temperature is at, but they didn't have heat damage. Why? Because they followed directions. Why? Because they stuck to the science of hair. But the majority of the styles that we do now are all high tension. So it makes sense. It is a very, very, very clear illustration to why everybody is going through the types of things that they go through. And cosmetologists, research scientists, trichologists, the herbalists, the holistic practitioners, those are all a couple of my titles. People like me, we're looked at as the enemy, right? Because I'm not telling you that your twists and your braids and all of the things are the things that you should do. No, I'm saying it too, that people that came before us had it figured out, but y'all looking at the wrong group of people. What about our grandmas? What about our aunties with the roller sets and the flexi rod sets and the perm rod sets? What about that? right? Our moms or our grandmas, they wore braids, but it was like once every blue moon. It was like if they're going out of town, or if it was some type of event where they don't want to be in their hair and stuff like that, and they're not going to have time to, and they don't want to neglect their hair, then they'll get braids for a couple of weeks, for like a month, right? But they're still shampooing their hair and sitting under a dryer. I know it for a fact because my mom took me to the hair salon every 2 weeks, which is why I was like, I have to be a cosmetologist. Oh my God. But if we're at a place where we can't learn from the people who spent the time to get the education to teach you, then that's where everybody's going to be. Because right now, the only people that y'all listen to are YouTubers. Y'all buy hair products from YouTubers who told you that they didn't even take the time to go to cosmetology school. They have no education whatsoever. There are people making hair products with no gloves on, using supplements, taking supplements out of a can, out of the pill pack, I can't even talk, and putting it in the product and mixing it up, no measurements, y'all. But again, Black women are the easiest group of women to sell to. They're the easiest group of women to manipulate. So I want to ask you a question. Are you going to be, which one are you going to be? Are you going to be the woman that has the accountability? Because she did it for me. Okay. My channel is about evoking accountability by forcing you to think and look in the mirror. So have you looked in the mirror? And as you've looked in the mirror, what do you see, right? What things have you done that mirror some of the things that you've seen in this video? Because at the end of the day, that is the number one reason why everybody's in the spaces that they're in. And I've been telling y'all this for years. And my 7-day challenge, it used to be free, is no longer free, but it gets so many results. And the growth cycle blueprint is blowing us out of the water with the results and the changes that we're able to make just by simply paying attention to the science, right? Because y'all constantly looking at what these girls are saying online. At what point are y'all gonna say, okay, maybe they didn't know what the hell they was talking about? And at what point are you going to stop buying products from people that are randomly making products in your kitchen and then getting upset when you go bald, right? Then you're going to the dermatologist and you want the dermatologist to fix your problem in a week. No. So make sure you let me know what you're thinking in the comments, and don't forget to RSVP to our next free webinar. Links and all that information is in the description box below. And until our next video, stop watching and listening to stupid people. Bye.